Where are you?
I'm actually in the office here in Lisbon. Flag.
Aloha and welcome to SUP FM, the podcast for stand-up paddleboarders everywhere. So with no further ado, let's get out on the water and on with the show. Here are your hosts, Nick and Simon.
Welcome, Franz Orsi to SUP FM. It's great to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, hi Nick. Thank you. It's nice to have to be invited.
Oh, it's great to because you're just freshly back from your world tour with with Bart De Zwart. So, how are you feeling? You must be a bit tired by now.
Yeah, really tired, but it's been an incredible experience. I mean, I look back and I just see 3 weeks of total madness. It was really cool. I liked it. So. Can't complain.
So what was the maddest part?
Well, so much traveling, so much seeing, so many inputs. We literally saw the world through SUP in 3 weeks. So, it has been pretty full of visually attractive moments. I mean, as a photographer, it was really I feel like a hangover.
I'm sure, because I think briefly you went to, just correct me if I'm wrong, was Yap in Micronesia,
exactly.
And then somewhere in India?
We switched to Nepal, and actually it was kind of weird. We decided to go to Nepal like a week before the trip started, and actually we experienced the earthquake there. It was a pretty tough experience. Never experienced anything like that in my life.
Well, were you actually there when the earthquake started?
Yeah, exactly. So
that's horrendous.
Yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, how many people were killed? There were tons of people killed, weren't there?
It was pretty. I mean, it was pretty bad. I mean, in certain areas, the situation was pretty dramatic. I think the count. I don't know exactly the latest counts, but it got stopped like 5,000 or 6,000 people died.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was pretty bad. Actually, we were lucky to be in an area where no big damage occurred. But still, I mean, we travel through the whole country. We've seen all sorts of situations, and it was pretty touching in a way to see all this.
You see lots of people without homes and losing families.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But where did you paddle in Nepal? I mean, have they got a lot of rivers and lakes?
Actually, the Himalayas, are full of water. There's obviously a big basin that is channeling water to many rivers. Most of them start as very small rivers, wide water, and then they get bigger and also mellower. We actually paddled down a river in a very remote valley. I mean, very few tourists have been there. At every village, people were just looking at us as aliens. It's been a very interesting experience for me. I didn't expect anything like that from Nepal. I thought it was already done. It was already exploited. Actually, you still find very remote corners. It's been very interesting, yeah.
So your main mode of transport through Nepal, did you start at point A and then paddle down a river to point B?
Yeah, actually.
What exactly?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we flew to Kathmandu, and in Kathmandu we moved to Pokhara just to see this lake. It's been nice. I mean, it's a lake with a very important temple. So we've been visiting this temple by the lake, and then that's where the earthquake struck. I mean, we were there in Pokhara at the riverside, river banks, and actually everything started shaking so badly. Really, I mean, we were looking at the buildings in front of us, let's say at 30, 40 meters distance. And we literally thought that they were about to collapse because they were shaking so badly. Actually, we were lucky that nothing happened. And
did you know it was an earthquake?
Well, it's pretty obvious. I mean, everything starts shaking really badly. You feel like your legs you don't feel stable on the ground anymore, for sure. And actually, what we didn't know is that it was so bad in other locations. So it took us like a couple of hours to realize that. I think our families back home, my family, Bart's family, got worried because the news were really quick to get to Europe and to US. So actually, we got on the phone like a couple of hours later, and everybody was already very worried about our situation. But everything was fine, so there was no big problem for us. No, actually, in the whole region, everything was under control. Very few houses came down. As we moved back to Kathmandu days later, we found a different situation. There was really, really bad. I mean, very tragic situation sometimes. So that was really, something that was a kind of sad sight. I mean, we've been trying to help as we could, and certainly the best thing we thought doing was trying to donate or to call people for this action, because the situation was very tragic. What we saw was not very
sure. But as a photographer, I mean, as a photographer, your first instinct is probably to take photographs of this tragedy, right?
Yeah.
How did you feel?
The first day, actually, we didn't change much our attitude. We were in a place where nothing really happened, so we were lucky to be okay. Basically, we just carried on our plans as everybody there. I mean, nobody showed any sign of madness there. I mean, they came back to their houses. It was pretty normal, the whole situation. 2 days later, after being paddling down the river for 2 days and sleeping in a tent, so total isolation, we moved to Kathmandu, and there, we were expecting a bad situation. That's what we got. Actually, that's where I really started to trying to document the whole thing. Some of the pictures really show very, very, very tragic situations. People like digging probably what was the remains of their houses. It was really bad. Some of these pictures, I hope that can be a kind of testimony for what we've seen, for what happened there. Even on SUP magazines, I think it's good to remember what happened.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, I think as a photographer, taking photographs of such incredibly sad situations, it must be quite difficult whether you put down your camera and help people, or you stand by and you take images, because both can help in their own way.
Actually, we arrive in these more affected areas 2 days after the earthquake. So there was no real emergency in terms of anything that could be done by us. There was nothing that we could really do in first person. I mean, there were rescue teams. There were for sure lots of Red Cross teams already arrived from Europe. So I thought that it was more like a personal help sometimes, maybe just giving some little money to some guy that's just lost his house, or trying to provide some help, or just a few words. I mean, anything helps in those situations, without being on the first row, without being involved as those people, the professionals who are there to rescue, are involved, of course.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this was the second leg of your trip.
Yeah. Can
we just chat a little bit about Yap in Micronesia? Because I've never heard of that before until I saw the fact that you were going there.
Yeah, same for me.
How did you find it?
That was actually Bart suggestion. We were looking for some place in the Pacific. Bart knows the Pacific very well. He has been sailing there with a sailboat. He did a around the world trip. He's been sailing for 3 years around the world, so he knows very well the South Pacific. He was looking for a place, let's say, kind of remote in the North Pacific, some place where no many flights were arriving per week. So I think he just went on a map, like one of those interactive maps of United Airlines, and trying to understand where to go. Actually, what we found there is a place that certainly has a very interesting cultural background. The most interesting thing for me was to see this Polynesian culture that still stick to very traditional ways of living. Right now, the whole country, Micronesia, I think it's on the verge between the old ways and the new ways. Probably the outer islands are still very traditional, while the capital cities, already pretty modern in a way. But Yap is really at the verge, and what was really interesting is to see that, for example, they have this stone money, which is pretty interesting. I mean, imagine they use like stone money. Stone money.
Oh, stone money.
Yeah,
okay.
They use like these big stones. I mean, they can be 2.5 meter in diameters. So it's about, I don't know, maybe it's about 2 tons, 3 tons. I mean, a stone like that, and that's their currency.
And they move that around?
Actually, they didn't move that around that much. But if you wanna buy a piece of land, or imagine you marry somebody, that's a gift you give to the family. In certain situations, they still use that. It's a currency that they use for the most traditional affairs, the more traditional things. So when it comes to paying something to the next village, to the next tribe, they use this weird way of exchanging money. And
I just think buying a Coke with a 2-ton piece of rock might be a bit crazy. Yeah.
No, for that they use US dollars.
Yeah. Excellent. How did you guys get to Yap? Was it quite an involved route and flying?
Yeah, I mean, Bart and I just met in Tokyo, and then from Tokyo we flew to Guam, which is U.S. territory, and then from Guam it's pretty close. I mean, it's just 1.5 hour. The problem is that there's only 2 flights per week. So actually, we got 1 flight canceled because it was full. So we had to move the whole thing 3 days. And actually, the most interesting thing when we arrived at the airport was seeing all these boxes full of we didn't know what. And actually, we realized later that it was they call this betel nut. It's this kind of
like a drug.
Yeah, this kind of drug that is really popular there. Everybody is chewing this the whole time, literally. I mean, we ask, when are you not chewing this? Just when we eat or when we sleep. So it's really...
So did you try it?
We tried the betel nut, but we didn't try the combination of betel nut plus calc. How do you call that? Yeah, calc. The one that you use for whitewash walls.
Okay, chalk.
Chalk.
Chalk. Yeah, chalk.
And another leaf they have there. So the whole combination of the 3 ingredients makes this narcotic. The betel nut per se is okay. You can eat it, but it's apparently the whole combination, and it's very corrosive. So everybody on the island have really big problems with their teeth. It's really, really weird. And actually,
so they're all walking around with broken teeth and black teeth.
Yes, exactly. It's a very old tradition, and actually it persists even if they know that it's kind of dangerous for their lives. They keep on doing that.
Well, I suppose it's addictive, and I think something similar happens in Somalia. I'm not sure if
Yes.
Did you experience that when you moved over to Ethiopia? Did you see anything like that, or was it not prevalent there?
Well, in Ethiopia, there's different kinds of narcotics. As far as I understood, there's some leaves they chew on certain places, especially in the islands. Ethiopia is a very diverse country. I mean, I wasn't expecting. I knew that it was big and diverse, but I wasn't expecting anything so dramatic. From Addis Ababa to the Omo Valley, the place we have been to, you pass through several very different landscapes. You know, kind of desert-like landscape, then high, lush mountains, then kind of savanna landscape. It's pretty diverse. So. As the landscape is diverse, their culture are very diverse. Many different tribes, many different habits. It's a very interesting country. Yeah.
And where did you paddle there? Did you paddle in the Great Rift Valley? Or?
Yes, exactly. Basically, there's this river which is on the Great Rift Valley. And is a river where you find a very big variety of people living. So in a 70 kilometer span, there is actually 15 different tribes that almost don't have any contact between each other. They have totally different ways of living, totally different habits. So it's a very condensed anthropologic experience.
It's amazing. I mean, it's truly diverse from Micronesia to India to Nepal to. So what? I mean, when you're selecting equipment for this trip, what boards did you choose?
Actually, you know, we got the right boards for this trip. You know, the inflatables that Starboard produces, you know, in very different varieties. You know, tons of models. Are really handy when it comes to travels like this. Bart and I have been doing already 3 travels with inflatables. I mean, I love it really. 2 years ago, we've been traveling around Europe, just buying one of those rail passes. You know, seeing the whole European Union in actually 8 days.
Wow.
Yeah, it's something that, you know, I couldn't have imagined when I was a windsurfer. You know, it's something that just gives you an incredible freedom. I mean, the fact.
So why is that? Just because of the portability of the inflatables?
The portability makes the whole difference. You know, and then you arrive on the spot, you pump up your board, and another world of possibility opens up. You know, you can. Paddle everywhere. Suddenly, you're just not a tourist, but you're something more. You know, actually.
Yeah, you're deeply immersed in the culture.
Exactly.
From the water.
It's a total different approach. You know, people just they choose to be scared. You know, they start connecting with you in a totally different way. You know, the fact that you use such a simple mean of transportation makes the whole communication between you and the natives much easier, much more natural. You know, you let people try, you let kids play. Even if you don't understand the language, you always find a way to communicate. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm always amazed when I'm paddling here in Portugal and I deflate my board and roll it up and put it on my back, and then people's eyes, I mean, even, you know, that sort of, it's just unbelievable. Like, oh my God, that thing was hard 1 minute and now it's rolled up. It's still not very common to see that.
Yeah, imagine that in the middle of Africa, surrounded by 35 kids.
Must be crazy.
It is.
So what exact size of board did you select for this trip? Because a quick question, do you know how many different models Starboard has on their catalog?
I should know that. Actually, I don't. I mean,
it must be hundreds, I'm sure.
Actually, I think there is more than 50 models, and each model comes in 4 different constructions. So yeah, I don't know. It's hundreds of combinations. Yeah, okay. Which makes things rather difficult when you have to choose a board. No, I'm kidding. The good thing is that Starboard really puts a lot of effort in designing a board for everybody, for every need. So you got a board for yoga, a board for fishing, a board for high performance racing, a board for touring, a board for traveling. And you have I don't know how many models of inflatables. I think there must be around 15 different models. What we have been taking with us on this trip was actually Bart took with him his signature model, which is the Touring 14 feet. It's a very fast board. It's a very fun board for flat water.
Do you recall how wide it is?
I think it's 31 or 30.
Okay.
I'm not sure. 30. I think it's 30. Yeah, and it has all the nice features that you want to have when you go on an expedition. So all sorts of plugs for you have FCS plugs, for your GPS or your GoPro. You got the Scotty plug, for fishing ropes, and all sorts of lines to attach bags and stuff, gear. So it's pretty cool. That's a good option when it's actually the board that Bart has been designing for his expeditions.
Okay, right. So it's got a lot of his input. And you, what board did you take? Did you just take an exact same copy of his board? Or
no, actually, we decided to take 2 different boards because we wanted to be more flexible, in case we needed another kind of board. And so actually, I've been taking a Drive, which is a very versatile design. It's actually a smaller board. It's only 10.5. It's very good because it's a good board to use as an all-rounder. Still, it's maneuverable enough to take some little waves if you want. It has been a very good choice. I was very happy with it.
But can you take any kit on that?
Sorry?
Can you take any equipment on the 10.5?
Yes, I did. Actually, when we paddled down the river in Nepal, we had all our gear with us. So actually, we were pretty loaded. I had all my camera equipment. I had my laptop. We had our tent. Plus, all the clothes we've been bringing with us for these 3 weeks. So.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was pretty worried at the beginning, to paddle down a river in a whitewater river in Nepal with my laptop on the board. But eventually nothing bad happened.
Okay, so it was Micronesia, Nepal, Ethiopia. What was the 4th stop?
The 4th stop was Istanbul, Turkey.
Wow.
Actually, we look at the map. It was a stopover for us anyhow. The final destination for this trip was the ISA World Championships in Mexico, in Sayulita. So Turkey was.
So Istanbul was on the way.
Yeah, it was on the way, and we thought, why not? I mean, I know Istanbul pretty well. I know that it's an amazing place for all sorts of paddling sports. Of course, it's not really widespread because it's not allowed probably to paddle there. But
it's not allowed. So did you get any police coming up to you and saying,
it's a very busy, it's a very busy place for ship. How do you call that? Ship navigation.
Ship traffic. Shipping traffic.
So you got all sorts of ships from oil tanks to big cruise ships. So it's not the place you wanna mess around with your board. But
it sounds like a good place for some photo opportunities with the oil tank.
The old city is really it's really amazing. I mean, you get this very iconic skyline, with the Hagia Sophia mosque, the blue mosque. I mean, it's really nice. And actually, it has been easier than what we thought. I mean, we found some little spots while walking on the banks of the Bosphorus. Each now and then we found some good place to pump up our boards and jump in the water. So it's been nice. A very, very cool 2 days stop in Istanbul.
Okay, so 2 days, and you went for like one long paddle each day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, first day we've been paddling in the Bosphorus. And then second day we moved to the Asian side, and we paddled there. We had some really nice pictures taken at the golden hour, sunset with the old skyline of old Istanbul in the back. So it was pretty cool moment.
Sounds amazing. And then suddenly, boom, you're in the middle of Mexico and Sayulita with this crazy ISA Worlds going on. That looked like such a party from the videos we saw.
It was actually a really, really nice event. I mean, I think it was the best ISA World Championship so far as I understood from the people who have been attending the other World Championships in the last years. Very nice vibe. The whole village was just full of competitors. It was pretty nice because it's a very small village. Pretty traditional. I mean, there's a little tourism. It's starting in a way, but it's a really nice place to organize an event like that, because actually you're sure to meet other competitors, other friends while walking down the streets. So it's a perfect place for an event like that. And this year was pretty big. I mean, probably it has never been so big. I mean,
is that because all the US guys decided to come?
Yeah, also the guys from Hawaii. It was the first time there was an Hawaiian team. Names like Conor Baxter, Zane Schweitzer, Mo Freitas. I mean, these are the guys that everybody is looking at. These are the superstars of the SUP world. So it's nice that they all join an event like that. In the previous years,
it does. Absolutely, it gives it so much more credibility when all the professionals come down to support the ISA. So what's the word on the street about the ISA getting SUP into the Olympics now, after this event?
I think that is very promising. The future looks bright for SUP in the Olympics. The president of ISA has been meeting with different athletes, so with the committee of athletes. Bart was there as well. They've been talking a lot about how to do this, how to make a credible proposal for the Olympic Committee for 2020. I mean, that's what they are aiming to. So the whole efforts are basically towards 2020, which is going to be in Tokyo. So maybe if everything goes well, we will have stand-up paddling in Tokyo, 2012 Olympics.
And any word on where the next Worlds will be in 2016?
Not yet. No, I didn't hear anything about that. I don't know if they already have some candidates. I don't know what to expect. It has been held in South America for a while. I don't know if it's going to move out of South America or staying there. Actually, South America is pretty amazing for stand-up paddling. I mean, there's such a cool attitude around this sport. I mean, everybody is so excited. So many surfers get into stand-up paddling. There's a really cool approach. I mean, there's no bias against stand-up. It's very nice. I like it.
Yeah, it's amazing you say that, because we interviewed Anthony Huykmes from suptrotters.com.
Yes.
And he's got about 2,500 of us on there, and the major contributors are all Brazilians. So he's by far the biggest, the most popular.
Brazil as a pretty amazing surf culture. I mean, it's interesting because it's a country with they have nice waves, but it's not like Portugal, or not like Hawaii. I mean, I've been traveling there a few times, and I never found those perfect conditions that we can find here in Portugal, for example. But still, I mean, they really rip on every wave. On a daily basis. If you find waves around 2 feet, I mean, the whole lineup is full of people ripping on these 2 feet waves. It's crazy. I think they get so well in competition. They get so good in competition because they train on any condition, and they're very competitive. So it's a good mix for a sport to grow. And stand up has been growing there in such an amazing way. I mean, it's everywhere. You find stand-up paddlers communities in the middle of the country, in the Amazon. I mean, you find them in Brasilia, far from the sea. I know, 1,000 miles from the sea. Of course, the whole coast is full of subsurfers and also just recreational paddlers. It's very popular. I think it matches the beach culture that Brazil is of course spreading around the world.
Sure. And then you return to Portugal, which is obviously your home at the moment, correct?
Yes, it is.
And you've witnessed the growth of stand-up paddle in Portugal. How do you think it's going?
It's going steadily. It's going sometimes beyond my expectations. I mean, I got into stand-up paddling in 2009. Back then I was a windsurfer. I've been competing a couple of years in the PWA, so the Windsurf World Cup. And actually, I just moved in 2010 to Portugal. And as I moved to Portugal, I was really one of the few guys on the lineup with a stand-up paddleboard. I mean, I remember being maybe surrounded by 2, 3, or 4 stand-up paddlers on the busy days. Now, in some spots, on a weekend, you find 20, 25, 30 stand-up paddlers.
Wow. Where's that, up in Guincho?
Yeah, Guincho, the whole Lisbon area. We got a spot, Parede, which is, pretty full of people right now with stand-ups. It's good because, it's kind of reference spot for everybody who is starting to get more into wave riding. I mean, it's Portugal is a great country. I mean, perfect country for stand-up. I mean, I'm really happy to have the chance to live here because beside the great surf conditions, you have so many options. I mean, so many rivers, lakes. I mean, I'm just discovering in the last 2 years, I've been traveling extensively in the interior. I'm just discovering so many hidden places, so many gems. I mean,
me too.
Yeah,
me too.
I know
love
you're
this
into
place.
it.
Yeah.
So I think it's just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, quickly, can we just go over? You had two previous tours that you did. The one in Europe.
Yes.
Did you manage to go to? Did you go to Venice? I think.
Yes.
And who was on that tour with you?
I did that with Bart De Zwart and Connor Baxter. So it was really cool. It was actually the first trip I organized with Bart. They were Bart and Connor were both in Europe for racing. They had basically 2 weeks off, and instead of coming back to Hawaii, we decided to travel around Europe for 10 days. Get this train pass, and just hit the road. Not the road, the railway.
The world, yeah. I think on everybody's bucket list as a stand-up paddler. I don't know. I've heard a lot of people say that they will really want to paddle in Venice, and I'm one of those people. I'd love to go there. And so you've done it, right?
Yeah, we've done that. Actually, I heard that recently Venice banned stand-up paddlers. I don't think it's a big problem, because it's such a labyrinth that
you can get lost.
You will never get problems.
What do the gondoliers say when you paddle past them? Do they sort of spit on you or something?
Well, it was really funny because some of them were kind of pissed because I think that they understood that all the tourists on their gondolas were just getting so excited about that I think that they must have thought, now we are going to lose our jobs. No, but it was really cool. I mean, we got some funny shots of these Japanese tourists really getting excited and taking tons of pictures at Bart and Connor. Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Actually, it was probably one of the most amazing locations. I mean, it's such a magical place. Venice is really cool. If you see it from the perspective of a paddler, it's probably the best place on earth to paddle.
Yeah, sounds incredible. So your photography career, when did you decide to pursue it professionally?
Well, it was probably after I graduated. I mean, I've been taking pictures since I can remember. I mean, I remember my father lending me his old Nikons. When I was a teenager, I started taking pictures of everything. And basically, it was only after my graduation. I graduated in architecture, so it had nothing to do with photography. But I started to take it more and more seriously, and I started to get a few jobs. And most of the jobs were in the commercial photography, of course. That's what pays the bills. And later on, I mean, I was probably lucky enough to meet stand-up paddling at the right time, because I was really into photography, but I really understood that stand-up paddling was about to open my world as a photographer, because the kind of experiences you can have on a stand-up paddleboards are next to none. I mean, there's no other sport that allow me to explore certain places, certain environments from such a unique perspective, so from such an original perspective. And when you're there, you want to have a camera with you. I mean, I always thought that I want to have a camera with me. So that whole thing started pretty naturally. And eventually, I started documenting my trips. I started nailing a few good shots for a few publications. And in 2012, as I recall, I've been lucky enough to join Starboard for their annual photo shoot in Maui, and it went very well. They were really happy about what I did, so it was a good way to start a very productive collaboration with Starboard. So,
are you officially employed by Starboard?
No, it's there's no such engagement, but we I think that there's a mutual respect. So I like working with them. and probably they like working with me. They've been pretty happy about everything we did together. So there's a very nice relationship. It goes way beyond the professional relationship. I mean, has becoming a kind of second family to me, and I really have lots of good friends there. It's a very nice team, and I feel really, really lucky to work with such professionals, such passionate people.
That's fantastic. So, as far as equipment goes, with your photography, do you use Canon or Nikon or something else?
I always use the Nikon. I mean, I don't know why. Well, I know why. My father gave me a Nikon in my hands. I never moved to any other brand. Actually, yeah. For many jobs, especially those commercial photography jobs, sometimes I have different requirements. I rent different cameras, from whatever brand. But when it comes to my personal choice, always Nikon.
And waterproofness? Do you have a casing that you use?
Yeah. I do have. Actually, on these trips, when we do this kind of trips that involve no surf, I tend to bring one of those plastic cases, so it's much easier. You can fold it. It's much easier to carry. It's much more lightweight, and also on the other hand, when I have to shoot in the surf, I use a proper case.
Okay, and GoPros, you use GoPros?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I always bring a couple of GoPros. You want to give it to your subjects, for them to play around. You use one for yourself. It's a very fun little tool.
Okay, excellent. Well, now, Franz, it's been fantastic chatting to you. I just got two little questions. Where to next?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm actually planning since a couple of months a trip to USA. Has been a dream of mine since many years. I wanted to do the coast to coast. Actually, I never thought about doing the coast to coast with the SUP board, but it seems that next time this is going to happen. So,
sorry, what's the coast to coast?
Coast to coast in
Route 66.
We're still looking at the actual itinerary. I'm going to do this over the summer, so it's basically going to be a trip I'm going to do with my girlfriend. She's also into stand-up paddling, so it's going to be fun to go with her on this trip. And probably we're going to meet up some reps from Starboard in different places, trying to get some insights about where to go paddling in the area. We have a few ideas. Of course, the locals know better, so we will take suggestions from them. Definitely, my goal is to explore as much as I can the freshwater options that US offers. I mean, there's so many breathtaking places to go paddling in the middle of nowhere in US. I mean, for sure, that is going to be the focus of this trip. And then eventually ending up on the West Coast, surf for a few days, and then go back home.
It sounds like you've created an unbelievable SUP lifestyle. It sounds like a perfect.
That's the nice thing about stand-up. You can get so creative with it. I mean, it's a sport that really is a liberating experience for me. I mean, I cannot describe it in any other way.
I agree totally. Where can we find you online?
Online you can find me on Instagram if you type in Franz Orsi. Same thing on Facebook. I'm actually building up a website right now, which is going to cover all my little adventures from the big ones around the world to the weekend adventures. This is something I'm really putting a lot of efforts in right now. really trying to get out of the city life with just 60 to 72 hours. This is what everybody can do, even if you have a 9-to-5 job, you can still find a few hours over the weekend to just get lost with the SUP board. So the whole concept is taking a board, a tent, and just go somewhere.
I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
love it.
I will let you know when as soon as the website is up. I hope in a few weeks, like maybe 3 or 4 weeks, I will let you know about that.
Please do. That'll be great. We'd love to hear from you. And Franz, thanks once again. It's been awesome.
Thank you for having me here. It has been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for listening to SUP FM, the #1 podcast for stand-up paddlers wherever you are. If you like what you've heard, please leave us a review on iTunes. Until then, we'll see you in the water.